The part about thinking the game, though, and your own skill development, the balance of that in Portland, like who do you sort of credit for that? The coaches, the player development side, your film, your offseason. I don't know who you work out with in the offseason, but like all of it together, when we talk about player development, it seems like there's so many different layers to it than just like, oh, the head coach has got to develop this guy.
Yeah, I think, honestly, I got to give credit to everybody. They gave me just little things to keep in mind, whether it was one of my old coaches in Portland, one of my coaches now in Portland, you know, obviously Dame and CJ. As a guard, they helped me out tremendously on, you know, people say that now a lot now. You can see like the influence they had on me when I play, and it's just going to the work we put in with my trainer. I trained with Phil Beckner, Dame, that's Dame's trainer, and he introduced me to him my rookie year, and we've been working out ever since. So he's changed the way I train. He changed the way I see the game, and like Dame would even my rookie year, Dame would come to the side. I'm not playing. He would come to me during the game and tell me why he's doing what he's doing in the game. So he was
based on how the defense is playing. Like he's just passing along knowledge.
Yeah, like he basically saying, they're playing me like this. Watch, I'm about to do this. I'm about to do this because they're doing this. I'm gonna set them up now, and then in the fourth quarter, that's when I'm be able to attack. And that's how I think the game now. Now that I understand a lot more. Most of the time, when you see me most aggressive is in the second half. So like, people were like, "Why you went 1 for 5 in the first half and then went this?" And I'm like, I'm just honestly trying to see exactly what they're doing to me in every situation, whether it's coming off a pick and roll, coming off a down screen. What do they do if I snake the pick and roll? What do they do if I put people in jail? Or, I'm just hitting the pocket and just trying to loosen up the defense, see if we can hurt them in the pocket, and they swinging out for threes. But, like, that way of thinking, that he helped me do that, from my rookie year. And I didn't really understand what he was teaching me until I actually started playing a lot more, like my fourth or fifth year. But now I understand, like, going into games now, like, okay, first quarter, I am seeing, like, I'm trying to see exactly what they're trying to do. Like last night with Brooklyn, like I knew from the first quarter they was sending me left, and when they brought Sharp in the game, they were up. When they brought Claxton, he was in a deep drop because he's a better shot blocker, and so I just understood that through the first quarter, and I was able to play through there. And so by the time we got to the fourth quarter, I knew it, and they started coming up because I started hurting them from passing and shooting the ball. And so now I just got them on my heels now. And then obviously in overtime, you can see they were double teaming me, and I was just able to pass it out, and we was able to get wide open shots from there.
There was also a few really deep step back jumpers, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
there's also the individual shot creation.
Fourth quarter. Fourth quarter, like Chauncey always talks about it. Like fourth quarter, we looking for matchups, and so it's kind of hard with Brooklyn. They got a lot of
switchable parts.
Yeah, like-sized players, and you just out there like, who am I going to pick? I don't want Dennis Smith. I don't want Dennis Smith on me right now.
I like that.
I mean, I can give people free game, but I don't like smaller guards on me. I don't like people that just sit under me. Even though I can manage it, but I don't like guards. I'd rather have somebody that's a little bit maybe my size or a little bit taller than me. Because I might be quicker than them or something like that and get past them, but I think we were picking, most of the time, like Cam Johnson. I was picking Dorian Finney-Smith.
Cam was a lot. We like Cam, but you guys picked on Cam yesterday.
I like Cam too. Cam's my
guy.
We work out a lot in the summer, but yeah, like we just picking matchups in the fourth quarter. So, I'm going to be in a line of ISO situations, and I think that happened in the third quarter when I hit those step backs. But that was just playing the game. It's just. You feel, or it was Spencer Dinwiddie too.
Yeah,
it was Spencer Dinwiddie too. But it's just playing the game. I think it's really that during that third quarter, second half, is like anything goes now.
Tommy brought to my attention that you are obviously not total points because you've only played in I think 14 clutch games to this point, or 14 total games. But in your clutch games that you played in, you lead the league in points per game in the clutch.
Mhm.
And I think what you're describing here is that moment of game on the line, ball in your hands, that actually has all been set up through the first 3.5 quarters of recognizing matchups and coverages.
Right.
And what gives you the confidence in that moment?
It's not something I even like think about. You know what I mean? It's like, you've seen, obviously Dame is top 75 player. So it's like, but I don't even think about it like that. It's just like the way he plays the game. You know,
So Dame time rubbed off on you.
I would. He's hit way more clutch shots than me, but like it's just like how the game goes, and Dame even when, like, say he learned that from CP3, like just the way that CP sets up one play in the first quarter to set up a play in the fourth. That's exactly what all of the great guards do.
The true sickos.
Yeah, he always says like that's why he feels like he's gonna be able to stay in the league longer than any other young guys, because he feels like a lot of young guys don't think the game that way. They're just playing off pure instinct and talent instead of just thinking about what you need to do to make the game easier. I mean, if you just pretty much outthink the other team, it makes the game that much easier to play.
I think there's something to be said about you in your second year always taking those mid-range pull-ups too. And I actually remember reading, there was some dialogue on Twitter maybe about this. And there's a tendency as a young player, I think, and I know I had this too. There's a tendency young player to be like, no, I'm going to show you that I can do this, right? When the game actually becomes easier, you're just making the right play, right? And I think that's the maturation specifically for guards that I think just takes time. And to agree, it's like not just guards, like Brandon Ingram is a great example of this. I really think this. Like the passes he's making now as like their primary half-court shot creator.
Yeah, he could
pass his ass off.
Yeah.
He makes insane that just takes time.
In the post, is either the post or the pick and roll. Like he is hitting that corner pass on the money or that late rotation pass on the money every single time.
He had one last night against Sacramento where he got to his right hand. He wants to finish going right. And like they played pretty good defense, but at the last second, the help defender came over late.
Right on money. Right at the time.
He could have shot like a little, he's long. He could have shot a little floater off glass. Good chance of going in. He threw a bullet pass to the left corner. On time, on target.
I already know.
Cash.
I already know.
That's the maturation.
Yeah, for sure.
Everyone that we've talked to and everyone I talk to around the league speaks very highly of Dame as a teammate and a leader. You've talked a little bit about this, but just like you coming into this situation as a kid and getting to play with him and for a couple years there, watch him quite a bit. What did he mean to you and your career?
Man, even from the first time we met, like he was there at my draft workout. He watched me.
He came to your draft workout.
Yeah, he saw me work out for the first time.
That's not normal, by the way.
Yeah, he was there.
It's not normal.
He saw my draft workout, and after the workout, we were just sitting there talking at the, at the little lunchroom, and it started from there. Like he would say that today, like he just saw something in me just from speaking to me and seeing me play, how skilled I was, even though I was, a small kid, but I was playing actually pretty well in that workout against a lot of guards that was coming out of college, and so I was playing pretty well, and he was just speaking to me. He just saw something in me. How he would just say that I had a lot of humbleness to me, and I would just be myself in any situation. And he kind of saw that from my rookie year, where a lot of people was giving me a hard time, and I would just be myself. You know what I mean? No matter what, I wouldn't change. Just because a lot of the vets on the team would give me a hard time about stuff. But he just me watching him is just like the way he carried himself, even through good times and bad times. That's the thing I respect about him more, is that he kept his humility. Like he's the same person. He works out the same way, just as hard. and he's a top 75 player, and he's the same way since I met him from the first time, and he's succeeded so much since I've been in the league. So, just seeing that, I'm just like, you know, if he's doing this, there's no way I can't. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like even when we're working out together and he's working out hard, I'm like, I have no reason. Even though I might not feel like working out that day, like there's no reason for me not to go harder than him.
I have a question for both of you, but for you, Jay, specifically about how just sort of special it is to be a vet like this and have like a young guy who technically is like competition. You know what I mean? You do similar things, and it's like some guys might be like intimidated by that and a little bit like, oh, I don't want this young dude stepping on my turf, but actually having the mentality to be not just like not, insecure defensive about it, but actually like actively supportive and helping, basically in a way like helping find your own replacement. Just like how unique that is, just in the league overall.
I'll kind of speak for Dame here because I know the type of person he is. I can speak for myself on this too. I think you need a vet and a player that's secure. Like Dame's a secure person.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm a secure person. Like when I was really like a vet was like Philly and New Orleans, and we drafted Landry Shamet. Guess who I shot with every day after practice? Guess who I talked to every time he came to the bench? Landry Shamet. Like that was my guy. I was like, I hope he gets to have the type of career I have. Then I go to New Orleans, and it was Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Like we had dinner together. We talked after every game. I was his hype man. Like I saw something in him, right? To me, when you get older, and you'll experience this because you're not quite there yet. You're not really a vet till you get to like year 7,
not
year
yet.
7, 8. But you realize like the people, and I think back to my my own careers, like Rashard Lewis, Keon Dooling, my rookie year when I was really struggling. I'd go get a 5-minute run and score 2 buckets, and I'd come to the bench, and oh man, and he'd just be like, "Yo, you're gonna make a lot of money in this league, man. You're gonna be all right." Like I still remember that. Those things matter.
Keon
And so
Dooling.
who, by the way, was caught up in the health scandal, whatever. But the thing about it is you realize like you just want to pass it along. Like all the gifts that you got, the free game, like all the gifts that you got, I need to then give to somebody. I can't take it with me. I got to give to somebody else. And so I found a lot of meaning in that. And we haven't asked Dame about that, but I know he's done this for a lot of young guys, and I'm sure he finds meaning in that too.
For sure. I feel like that's what it's all about, just paying it forward. Especially a lot of as you get older, you kind of understand like what it means to impact another player and just carrying on that, not want to say tradition, but the way things should be. You feel like you have a responsibility to make sure the league doesn't get too out of control when it comes to like young players being good and doing crazy things and stuff like that. So I feel like that's what vets are here for. And I think nobody can teach these young players, not somebody you bring in from that hasn't played in the NBA. I feel like somebody that has actually been in that situation needs to teach that stuff.
Yes, I agree with you on that completely.